Seems like Spooderman 4 is definitely on the way. The continuation of Marvel and Sony's partnership is all but said and done. Just a couple of T's and a few I's T's to be crossed and a few I's to be dotted. Other than that, yeah, one surefire victory for the upcoming MCU looks to be locked in. Tom Holland is apparently going to be back in the Spidey suit, but little else is known. But based on the previous outing of the MCU Spider-Man, those are big old shoes to fill, and a lot of people are looking to the follow-up because No Way Home set lofty expectations for both Spider-Man and for the MCU. But unfortunately, as a lot of people were pointing out at the time, what is Sony ultimately going to learn from this? We've seen what Sony learned from this. Oh, people just want more Spider-Man, even without Spider-Man. How well has that worked out? How well has that worked out for them? Well, if Madam Web and the upcoming Kraven have anything to go on, and Morbius, like, come on, man. Don't get me started. And Marvel, well, they've milked this formula to great success with the Deadpool and Wolverine, but the long-term effects and the long-term knockoff, looking at the $1.3 billion success that was No Way Home at the tail end of 2021, heading into 2022, looks like they have learned zero correct lessons from this. Instead of working on the creatives behind the scenes to complement the otherwise decent to good performances that they get in front of the camera, no, they're just going to double down on the same idiots that put them in the same place to begin with, because the director of Shang Chi is apparently going to be taking the director's seat on Spider-Man 4. What are you guys doing, man? Okay. When it comes to the slop that came out in Phase 4, like, Shang Chi doesn't really get a lot of stick, mostly because nobody remembers it, or they just look at it and go, because A, it didn't turn a profit, or at least a sizable profit. It might have made its money back, but if you take a look at the numbers, yeah, it was a loss. Nobody cares about any of the characters that were introduced during that film. Is anybody waiting for the return of Marvel's Katie? Yeah, I didn't think so. And it's not like Simu Liu really raised his profile in Hollywood, so Marvel really needs to lock him down before he becomes an even bigger star. No, Destin Daniel Cretton made a disposable film 3 years ago, and it's going to be another 2 years before we see anything else that he does. So yeah, Marvel is learning all the wrong lessons from Deadpool and Wolverine and from Spider-Man No Way Home. Because what's everybody excited about in regards to another Spider-Man? Okay, like when you hear the announcement that, oh, Spider-Man 4 is getting a director, oh my god, the Marvel and Sony have finally worked out the problems. Are we going to have more than one Peter Parker? Are there going to be more cameos? There going to be more keys to jangle? Ooh, that's what Marvel has become. That's what everybody's coming to expect. Depending on when this video comes out, I will have already made my opinion on the upcoming Agatha, or maybe the currently ongoing Agatha show, very, very clear. That is going to be a stark contrast to the glitz and glamour over the summer that everybody had with the third Deadpool movie. Everybody was just having fun with a movie that didn't really make much sense, but it was an enjoyable 2 hours that we spent at the theater. Just reminding us of the good times of the Fox Marvel universe. But with Agatha coming back and being the follow-up to that billion-dollar hit, is just gonna smack you right upside the head, bring you back down to reality. Oops, there goes gravity. And it's right back into the sludge pits. But Destin Daniel Cretton, what a perfect name, is doing whatever a spider can. Oh, the filmmaker behind Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is in talks to sign on to direct Spooderman 4. The move brings an end to speculation as to who would spin the web for one of the biggest franchises in Hollywood. Cretton will bring fresh blood to this iteration of Spider-Man. Bro, he was the director for Who Gives a Shit Chi, which stars, Tom Holland as Spooderman, and his co-production, between two separate studios, Sony and, Disney Marvel Studios, and it will make him the fourth director to take on a Spidey. So, solo film. John Watts directed, the previous three Tom Holland's starring movies. And why isn't he back in the director's seat? Oh, because he's doing Skeleton Crew over there for Lucasfilm. Great. Oh, Mark Webb helmed, the two Amazing Spider-Man movies, which, and of course, Sam Raimi's trilogy, which if you're going to be doing a Spider-Man 4, why isn't it Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4? If you guys were looking for like $1 billion, it's right there. Sony and Marvel, right now have no comment, mostly because they're probably waiting to make this a concrete announcement at some big festival, at some big... I don't even know if they have anything on the docket right now, or maybe they're just waiting for a tragedy that they need to direct attention away from before they use this as another, shiny little distraction. The Holland Spider-Man movies grew into a billion-dollar franchise on their own, yes, with No Way Home enticing pandemic-weary audiences out of their homes, grossing almost $2 billion. Right. Yeah, it was even bigger than that. After it was released, yes, in December of 21. Oh, so it was 21 heading into 22. It also starred, yeah, Maguire and Garfield. Yeah, in tasteful roles, okay? They weren't Gambit, Blade, Elektra, Johnny Blaze, just coming in to get kicked in the nuts and have their skin stripped straight off before they are exploded. They were actual characters with legitimate payoffs. I wonder if we're ever going to see that again. Very likely not. Chris McKenna and Eric Summers are back on script duties, while Marvel head Kevin Feige and former Sony head Amy Pascal are producing. Well, Amy Pascal's parting shot at Sony after she was tossed out the door was, yeah, I'm going to be in charge of everything. I'm going to be in charge of everything Spider-Man moving forward. All right, peace out, bye. Sources say that Spider-Man 4 is running, not crawling, full steam ahead, and will shoot early next year because, yeah, there was some rumor we talked about earlier this year. I forget exactly where it all lines up, but they were looking, this is Marvel, they were looking at replacing Blade because who knows what's going to happen over there with Blade, replacing that with Spider-Man. So this is going to be the big Thanksgiving feast, and 25 if they really hurry this up, or 26, which seems far more likely. But it's unclear what the story will be. Well, yeah, given the fact that Chris McKenna and Eric Summers are going to be writing it, who knows? As A No Way Home ended, yeah, with the world forgetting that teenage Peter Parker is a friendly neighborhood Spooderman. The memory wipe included those closest to him, yes. Oh darn, we won't get the fantastic acting talents of Zendaya. Whatever we're going to do, might have to have Gwen Stacy. Might have to have, maybe a grown-up Peter Parker. And maybe that rumor that Sydney Sweeney's going to come in and play Black Cat could actually be a thing, and maybe this could actually be like a fun as hell actual Spider-Man movie. June of last year, Holland told The Hollywood Reporter that he and the producers had recently undergone a series of meetings on the potential fourth installment. And the first few meetings were about why would we do this again? And I think we found a reason why. Cretton is popular, yeah, in the Marvel fold. Yeah, his Shang Chi movie's popular? Are you joking? This is The Hollywood Reporter after all, so yes, of course, everything that they write is a joke. Is considered a highlight in the post-Avengers Endgame phase. No, everything, like Shang-Chi was obviously a triumph. That was the talking points moving forward after the movie came out. The Eternals was also a high point, right? Like, it was literally saving lives, and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, directed by Sam Raimi after all. That was the high watermark, and Thor Love and Thunder was just so much fun. The wheels didn't start to fall off until, the Marvels came around. Because there wasn't enough good corporate oversight, according to Bob Iger, with Nia DaCosta, very inexperienced. We just, it was shot during the time of COVID and took 3 years to come out. Square that circle. No. All of this stuff, it was a hit. It was making money. Simu Liu was out there, sharing and trying to throw it back in the faces of those evil YouTubers out there just saying how bad his movie was. Hey, well, if it was so bad, why would it make back its money? Why would it eclipse its production budget at the box office, huh? You see, that's how movie math works. If you make more than your budget, that means you turn to profit, right? But yeah, he was on board to direct, yes, the Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. Well, whatever happened to that? Are we still working towards that? Anyways, yeah, but dropped off last November amid the project changing production schedule and evolving, and the evolution stemming from Jonathan Majors' assault trial. And yeah, now there's no more Avengers Kang Dynasty at all. And who's Kang? Even though he was set up in Loki Season 1, Season 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania. But that wasn't a highlight at all. No, don't worry about that one. That's why Jeff Loveness isn't going to be writing the script over there, or forget the name of the disposable hack who wrote that, because it really doesn't much matter. But his nabbing the Spidey gig is also a vote of confidence of his work on Wonder Man. I beg your pardon. Marvel Television Disney Plus series that stars Yahya Abdul. I have no idea. I don't want curry with that, which is in post-production. Yeah, it's a vote of confidence for a show that's coming out that nobody cares about. Oh yeah, and Wonder Man also had, one of the crew members die on set. That's great that you want to, give the sign off to, somebody who directed over somebody losing their life. The filmmaker remains attached to direct a live-action adaptation of Naruto. Oh my god, and a sequel to Shang-Chi, which is non-development at all. But it's unclear how Spider-Man will affect those projects. It seems like it's pretty obvious how it's going to affect a potential Shang-Chi 2. Right into the fucking bin. Depending on what happens. Oh my god, man. Like, we have seen what's on the horizon for Marvel. You excited for Agatha? Nobody's excited for Agatha. Ironheart's coming out. Ooh, that would be fun. Don Cheadle just recently talked about, the Marvel announced Armor Wars. It was supposed to be coming out in Phase 5. What's your take on that, Don? What's Armor Wars? Oh, fantastic. And in the movie side of things, to complement the potential in the upcoming Spider-Man 4, you've got Captain Black Falcon America, man. That ought to be great. Thunderbolts. Who's in the Thunderbolts? What are the Thunderbolts? You've got the Fantastic Cuatro with Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. Are you excited for that, man? It's gonna be a rough 2025. Thank God Disney is making their bank this year, because as you can tell by moves like this, they haven't learned a damn thing from their success. It's gonna be back to the sludge pipe next year. Smoke 'em while you got 'em. Used to be the old saying, get while the getting's good if you don't imbibe, because oh boy, it's gonna be a lean few years going forward. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.